ISIS are medieval barbarians, but by bombing a passenger jet, they have evolved into a very modern monster. Deal with them now, Mr. Obama, before they nuke a US city. So ISIS is now blowing up passenger planes. Let's just think about that for a moment, shall we? Another bunch of rabid Islamic fundamentalists has developed the capacity to commit mass murder in the skies 14 years after Al-Qaeda carried out the 9/11 attacks. This takes ISIS's barbaric medieval campaign of torture, mayhem and death to a whole new level of sickening depravity. At the moment, it's yet to be determined what brought down Russian Airbus A321. But Piers Morgan says without any hard evidence that it was ISIS. And after all, he should know because he's interviewed puppets on Good Morning Britain. But then facts have never stopped Piers Morgan when he wants to push an establishment line. Let's just play along with Morgan for a little while. His article goes on to say that this is a game changer for ISIS, despite there being no hard evidence, and that we are all now a target because they could target any one of us at any time, anywhere. He really ramps up the fear porn. The article continues. No security system is ever 100% safe. But if ISIS, amid high global terror alert, is able to plant a bomb on a passenger plane at a place like Sharm el-Sheikh, they can do it anywhere, and they now know it. So the audacious victory will embolden them to try it again and again. Why should America care? Because America, as always, remains the biggest prize for these terrorists. Yet the current US president seems to almost pride himself on doing almost nothing to stop them. Obama talks a great game, but the time for talking with ISIS is long gone. They don't want to talk, they just want to cut off heads and blow people up. The only ideology ISIS seem to possess is complete annihilation of anyone that gets in its way. Piers, listen. I know you're upset about the Russian plane crashing and all that. We all are. But we don't yet know what brought it down. Remember when MH17 was brought down and our government jumped to the conclusion that it was Russia straight away? When in fact it looks like it was a Ukrainian fighter jet that actually downed the plane. Or do you remember when we were told by our own Prime Minister, of all people, that Assad had fired chemical weapons in Syria and crossed Obama's red line? When it turned out, after a UN investigation, that it was the rebels that fired the chemical weapons and not Assad. Well, let's make sure we know exactly what happens before we jump to the wrong conclusion again. That's point one. Point two is that there is a very good reason why Obama is doing nothing about ISIS. And if you were only half paying attention, you'd understand what's going on here. The Obama administration have spent a bloody fortune, literally billions of dollars, together with countries like Qatar and Saudi Arabia. They've spent all this money creating, arming and funding who, Piers? Creating, arming and funding ISIS into existence to take out Assad on behalf of the West. ISIS have become a proxy army for America and the UK to remove Assad. Think about it, Piers. Obama is not going to bomb the very terrorists he created, is he? Obama has spent a year in Syria bombing empty buildings here and an American 4x4 provided to ISIS from America there. Russia have proved what can be done if the will to destroy something is there. Obama hasn't got the will because he would be destroying his own fighters, his own terrorists. And he isn't going to destroy his own army of terrorists that are doing his dirty work for him, is he? Again, I feel a bit depressed that another mainstream journalist just hasn't got a clue as to what is going on in Syria. They should know this stuff. I mean, it's not like I get privileged secret information. It's there for all to see. You just need to be able to add 2 and 2 together. On another note, with Cameron now saying that he believes it was an explosion within the plane that brought it down, that's why he's grounded the flights in Egypt, I believe he could be setting the stage for a false flag attack. Because everyone now is really scared of flying. Imagine, heaven forbid, that a plane of British nationals goes down in a similar manner. We will be bombing in Syria and probably having a regional war with Russia by tea time tomorrow. I just can't see how else the UK will get involved with Syria unless there is a false flag event to be blamed on ISIS as a pretext to get involved. Russia's intervention in Syria has completely muted the UK and also highlighted that America were only bombing for show. Because the US, as I said, don't want to destroy ISIS. They want them to take Assad out, ultimately for Israel, who are eventually wanting to attack Iran. And they want Assad out of the way so that Assad will not back Iran. Keep those eyes peeled, people. This situation could grow, and quickly.